Oh, guys, good you here. I am so excited. Guess what?
I hope this isn't about your podcast again.
Why, did you finally listen to it?
I came in like a wrecking ball.
The Grandma Next Door is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Welcome to the Grandma Next Door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
And now our feature presentation.
And here's your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Groomer Next Door. I'm your co-host Chris Green. Sitting next to me as always is the wonderful, the raspy, and the delightful Sarah.
Hello.
Well, we missed a week last week because both of us were terribly sick. One of us is still really sick. I'll let you guess who that is. So I hope you guys didn't miss us too much. It has been a very hectic couple weeks, so even sitting down to do this podcast was going to be challenging. But we decided, you know what, we cannot stop doing the show just because we're sick. We work, so why can't we do a podcast?
The show must go on.
Yes, it must. Well, let's go into the weekly roundup. Obviously, we have 2 weeks worth of roundup to go on. We're going to make it kind of condensed and kind of easy for you guys to all digest. In one simple word, I'm going to say busy.
Very.
Yep.
I mean, we didn't get out on Friday until 7 o'clock.
Yep.
7! We had a long-haired German Shepherd Dachshund.
Yep.
We had a Morkie haircut. We had 2 Yorkie haircuts. We had a Shih Tzu.
We have our standard smooth-coated collie who comes in every Friday.
Yeah, it is called Smooth Collie.
Yep.
Third.
It's okay. I got you.
We had a Labradoodle. And we had something else.
I am so glad that you kept track. I lost track so quick. It
was insane on how many dogs we had. And doing this while super sick was terrible. We've been sick for like 2 weeks now.
I actually was able to recover this week and get kind of back to normal. Last week, a week ago, before we actually, it would have been episode 75 then, and this would be 76, but because we're a week behind, man, when I actually sat down and recorded a little bit of the podcast last week, just me, because you were real sick.
Oh yeah, it was bad. The hardest thing about having kids is bringing home kid illnesses. The sickness from from school. And they always hit adults harder. And we can't call out of work when we're not feeling good. We can't just say, hey, Keith, I'm sorry, but we can't come in, or I can't come in. Because then we have 6 to 9 people mad at us because we had to. Well, they're not really mad. They're very understanding, and they know we work hard and we try to get them in as best as possible. But trying to reschedule them on top of already overbooked days.
Oh no!
It doesn't work very well. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough.
No rest for us.
No, I mean, and you got to imagine we have at least one big dog per day.
Yeah, so it's getting to the point 1 or 2 because we're so busy.
Yeah, it's really getting rough. Now, of course, one of our main topics this week is going to be about a story that we had posted on our Facebook page. We'll go into that later, but the dog's name was CoCo. Got a lot of story on that one. I was going to record it last week. I did my part. If you're on our Facebook page, you'll notice I actually had planned on releasing the story last week. On the podcast, but Sarah had such a large impact on it that it just didn't work to have it just me telling the story. So we decided, you know what, to heck with it. We're just not going to have an episode so that you could do it. You didn't even have a voice this time last week. I could barely get out of bed this time last week. So it was hectic. So I got a full detail on that one. We'll go full detail on that. But man, you guys all were awesome. We went over I think it was 1,300 people were in response to it. It went crazy how big it was for one little story that wasn't supposed to actually be part of the podcast. It was a side story.
Yeah, it's one of those, we did CoCo just because, he needed it. It wasn't any kind of publicity stunt or anything like that. I get a call from...
Well, we'll go into that in a little bit.
Oh, okay, you're getting into it pretty
far.
So.
I was just kind of teasing everybody with it. Yeah. So let me just move on really quickly. Let's do our clarification. I was, teasing with that. We're gonna go into clarification, and we also have some news of the pets for you for this episode. So let's first start off with clarification. You're gonna get two, not just one, but two of the clarification stories this week because, well, you missed last week, so we're gonna put them both into one. You guys get to enjoy that, and when you come back, we will talk a little bit about that, and, well...
Continue on.
Continue on. We are joined by the wonderful Claire Green. We're just done with your soccer game. You did really well. Tell us all about your game.
Guess what?
What?
I just got 3 scores.
You did score 3 goals. That is the most goals you've ever had so far.
And I almost scored 1 more.
Yep, that would have made it 4. Tell us all about your game.
Little boy just got hit in the eye in the ball.
Yeah, that's right. One of your players did get hit in the eye with the ball. He was okay, though, but man, that hurt.
Yeah.
So what happened during the game? Tell us all about your game.
When we started the game, I was paying attention.
Yes, you were. You were paying attention. You did really well. Your dribbling was really good. You were taking the ball off your chest. You were doing really well.
Yeah, when the ball was coming to me, I just hit it with my knee.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you did hit it with your knee. Well, what else is going on with you?
I don't know.
You don't know? How was school this week?
Good.
Anything about school you want to tell us about?
When it was iPad day at Friday, Madeline, that is in our class, she told me about Fox's shop. There was a lot of things about Fox's shop.
Fox's shop. Is that a game you play?
Yeah, but there's a book, and there's a Bob that mess up the ace, and then if you click on Bob and you move him around, he can get a queen really good.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
No.
All right, well, say goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Hello, Claire. It is May 2nd, 2015, and you just finished this year's spring soccer season. Tell us about your game.
Guess what?
What?
My dad told me to go to the net, and the ball was right next to me, and I kicked it into the net.
Yep, you scored. You were doing really well. You changed your ways out there by being a little bit more in formation. You're learning the game so well. You looked absolutely outstanding. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
So tell us more about the game.
I just fell down because someone just pushed me.
Right.
Yeah, and I almost got 2, but I got 2.
Yeah, you had 2 goals, and I think 1 or 2 of them were kicked in by another team member trying to get the ball from you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was by the other team. The other team scored and kicked it in, so it was own goals. But she did really well. You were watching the ball. You were controlling the ball really well. You've learned a lot this season. I'm really proud of you.
And you've got 1 more.
We have ice cream get-together with the whole team on Wednesday of next week.
Nope, it's, I just, dribbled. You forgot that.
Yeah, you've learned how to dribble, control the ball. You're doing really well.
Thanks.
All right, is there anything else you want to tell us?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Nope, that's it. That's it. That's the end of clarification for this year.
Yes.
All right, everybody. Well, this concludes clarification. Oh, hold on. We got more from our superstar.
This is the last game of May. This is the last game in soccer practice.
No, it's actually the last game of the spring season. The next time we will actually get together on the field will be in fall, and you will probably be in Youth 7 at that point.
Yeah.
So that actually concludes my days of coaching in Youth 6. So this is kind of sad for us.
Yeah, and I don't get to go to kindergarten. I get to go to first grader. This is the last day of May.
Well, you got a couple more weeks of school, but yeah, it's almost over.
It's May.
Yes.
We have one more month. It's this May.
All right, everybody. Well, this concludes clarification for the spring soccer season. Thank you all for enjoying our time with it. And, well, we look forward to actually coming back with this next fall. Well, that is the final set of clarification you guys will have at least until fall. Unless we put her into another sport, then, then we'll put her into that. But, want to actually just kind of detail into the soccer season. It had ended. It's always hard, we have so much going on that to add any more into our crazy lives is a little hectic, but I'm going to miss actually going out there like I did last time. I said it before in the previous podcast when we finished our fall one. So anything you want to add on that? You did a great job. Sarah did a great job. She filmed, clips from each game. She did a lot of work in that. And I really appreciate that. We put a video up.
The video was great. The ones that I captured were the best ones. Like the one where the little boy did.
Yep. He tried to do a bicycle kick, which would have been, kind of almost doing a flip and kicking the ball. But he just Charlie Browned.
Yeah, he totally Charlie Browned it. Totally kicked it and fell backwards. And you were such a champ with it. You're like, wow, dude, that was so great. The kid's about ready to crack and start crying. And then you just came up with just a big ol' injection of positivity. And that kid just turned it around like, did you see what I just did?
It didn't work out so well. A couple weeks ago, we had another one where boy took a ball right to the face, kicked right into his face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Was, I think, the same game or something
No, it was the week after. It was it was a week ago.
Poor kid took the ball right to his face.
Yeah, that had to hurt.
Oh my gosh. Is it black? Is it black?
Is my eye black? Is my eye black? No, you're fine. Oh, he took it like a champ. I enjoyed every bit of that. It's always hard at this point when the season's over. You want to go out for one more practice. Even though it's like, oh my gosh, practice during the week. I'm exhausted from work and everything else that's going on, but it's something I will miss until fall, unless something else happens. And we'll talk about that coming up. All right. Well, let's move into the news that we actually are gonna. We have a couple things in news, so let's actually get into our newsroom kind of stereo portion of this. We're gonna actually take our you got so there it is. Sitting out, having an outdoor studio has its advantages and disadvantages. When you have things flying around on you, it's kind of weird. So all right, well, Sarah, let's move right into our actual newsroom. All right, in the newsroom right now is of course Sarah. She's got some really breaking news for us. And I want to actually kick it right off to you. So go ahead, Sarah.
We're talking about the dryer, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we finally did it after a couple of months of fundraising. We finally raised up enough money to purchase a blow dryer for the Roundup Police Department K9 units. Both Officer Gray and Campbell are going to be able to use these on their Shepherd when they're shedding at the most, or if they have to go and wash them real quick because they're out on the field and got super dirty and need to get them dried. We finally got it. the reason why we did this fundraiser to get this dryer is that the last time Rocco came in for a D-shed, he said, man, I would really love to have one of those blow dryers and to help with the shedding during those certain times. I said, well, doesn't the state give you money for the dogs? He goes, not enough for stuff like this. All the money is accounted for vet visits and stuff like that. Anything else extra comes out of their own pocket. And they get food donated from Royal Canin, which is, good job, Royal Canin. Awesome for that. It's awesome that they get some kind of relief. They don't have to pay for the dog food.
That is nice.
Because a shepherd can go through food. Any large dog can go through food. So, do you want to tell them how we raised
No. This is your story. This has always been your thing, and I really, I just help out with, setting up the filming, the cameras and different things. You do a lot. You do 99% of the job. You do it.
Yeah, this is my baby fundraiser. We did a fundraiser which raised $100 for Pical, which I know they can always use the funds. But this one really hit close to home because these dogs are out there keeping us safe, keeping the drugs off the street, manhunts, depending on which dog's out. So I really pushed to get this done. So we did photos, really cute photos for Easter and such. And then we had a really generous customer come in with a very large donation, which bumped us up like crazy. And then my friend out in California, she's an amazing groomer working at an amazing salon. And she heard about it and she sent me a very generous check in the mail. So some of the donations came as far as California. And it is just amazing how much these two people really helped out. Plus all the other little fundraisers, or little photos that we did. We didn't take any portion of this. We did strictly donations. So $10 for a photo, and that went straight to our fund. And now we're going to be purchasing, it's called Bear Power Dryer 2. It's a mouthful. The dryer itself, the company is Bear, and it's starting to become a very big reputable company. Our kennel dryer is by Bear. It's called Grizzly, and that thing, it rocks. It's the same thing that they use in industrial pet stores.
Yep.
The same kind of floor dryers that they use at Walmart and such. This stuff's amazing. It hooks up with three nozzles, tubes. They can hook on 3 different dryers. And it's not all the power going on one kennel. No, it's divided up by 3. And great company. So either tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday, we'll be ordering that and having it shipped to us. And then we'll get the call to Officer Gray, and he said he'll love to bring Rocco down and take a picture in front of Shadowwood, because for the donation, or saying thank you for the donation. And then I talked to my other friend who works for the Rolla paper. He'll be doing a story on us too. So this is pretty cool, just something awesome to help give back to the community, and it's paid off, and we're now finally going to be able to give them the dryer that they wanted.
And another thing I want to make sure, we haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. Not really for any other reason besides it's just been so busy. All of our other little articles that have been done, I have one with that was about the podcast, the advertisement one that was in the paper for winning Groomer of the Year, and then of course Sarah's article have never gone online. I'm hoping today I'm actually going to get all of those actually put online so that they'll be on our Facebook page, because I think that it would be a really cool thing to actually have that for everybody to see it. A lot has gone into where we are today. I mean, you've been doing this forever, it seems like, and
most of my adult life.
Yeah, and now that I'm in here and we're building this kind of, I don't know what to even call this, because it's so unique, but we have this really cool thing going on that we're sharing together, and then we share it with all of you who listen. So, I want to make sure you guys can see these things and read these things, and, you can see all the stuff online, obviously, but...
We're not just blowing smoke.
Yeah, it's not a BS kind of thing. We really do work hard at perfecting what we do, making sure we have a podcast that people enjoy listening to. That's why it always bugs me when we don't do an episode, because I'm always, thinking, oh, man, I hate when a show isn't on a week, but, things happen. All right, well, to continue on our news kind of portion of the show, I have two stories that I want to actually play for you. One is quite comical, man versus bear to save his chihuahua. And then, of course, there is the comical celebrity dorkness that I would love to... I couldn't think of any other word to call it except for dorkness, involving Barbra Streisand and her dog. So sit back and enjoy this portion of our news.
She was terrified. She's still shaking.
Carl Moore's Chihuahua Lacey screamed in terror when a bear tried to straddle the gate leading into his Meadow Vista home.
He was up on his haunches trying to get over that gate to get to the dog.
John Sargent, confined to a walker, couldn't help, and Moore's 15-year-old lab Bailey could barely bark. But Moore didn't hesitate.
I raised my hands up.
Moore's cussing startled the bear, who turned to run. But that wasn't enough for Moore, who went after him.
He stops right where you are, comes up and starts to turn.
Spins around, gets up on his haunches. Carl just blasted him, Crazy.
Boom! I hit him good.
Not so crazy for Moore, an ex-Marine, boxer, and bouncer in country western bars in Texas. He's a self-described brawler.
This big right hand has sent a lot of people through the floor.
Let's put things in perspective. It took an entire team of people to subdue a bear in Tracy a few weeks ago. While bears often avoid people, this is what can happen if they feel threatened. A 300-pound bear is nothing to mess with because they are fast and powerful. It was lucky for Moore that he sucker punched the bear as it was turning.
It went whoof.
Fish and wildlife rangers believe the bear was after these chickens. Moore has lost 3 dozen over the past few weeks, prompting him to ignore conventional wisdom. Get inside, get away.
I ain't letting no bear eat my puppies. That ain't gonna happen.
It helped that the 73-year-old Moore does up to 500 reps most every day with his exercise grips. Bad news for the bear, who scampered off. The question is, will there be a return engagement? Well, Fish and Wildlife says that a bear is unlikely to return to a spot where it's had a bad experience.
Barbra Streisand's female dog just got herself into serious trouble at 36,000 feet, attacking a flight attendant aboard a billionaire's fancy private jet. And it was so bad the victim needed stitches. The perp is a dog named Sammy, Barbara's 12-year-old Caton de Tuliar, who accompanied Streisand on Tuesday during a flight from New York City to D.C. on a private jet owned by billionaire investor Ron Perelman. TMZ reports a female flight attendant noticed the dog and went over to pet her, but Sammy snapped, biting the woman's hand, puncturing the skin, and opening a wound that required stitches. TMZ reports Barbara immediately apologized to both Ron and the flight attendant, but everyone forgave her, and the injured woman is expected to make a full recovery.
All right, well, welcome back, of course. That was 2 really funny stories that happened. Actually, they both happened early last week. One was on Friday night that the first one released. Actually, they both were new news that actually hit on Friday. So if you guys are big on TMZ, you may have actually heard the Barbra Streisand one where her dog actually bit a flight attendant. I don't even call them flight attendants anymore because you're flying on a private jet. So they're really more like...
personal staff?
Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say spa companions in the air. The first one, though, was hilarious. I probably would have done the same thing with Belle because I love our Chihuahua. I would have probably punched the bear in the face as well. But, man, he was just such a funny character that I just could not help but laugh and think, you know what? If you haven't actually heard these stories yet, they were new to you, and you of course found them to be as funny as I did, I hope. So I have to share those. That's why news is so important now. We actually have it part of our podcast. Okay, we are going to move on to our main story and one of my favorite stories so far of podcasting. As we mentioned in the open, there was a dog named CoCo. I'm going to leave this to you to tell the full story because you had a lot of the interactions with it, and then we'll go and we'll discuss, and then I'll have more to talk about.
So I get a call from Rhoda, and she is a volunteer for PCAL, Phelps County Animal Welfare League, and Whisker Stops, two very good nonprofits in the area. She says, I just picked up a dog that is being sponsored by PCAL, and he's in desperate need of a groom, and I didn't know what else to do but to call you. I said, not a problem. What kind of shape is he in? Because if he wasn't a bad deal of shape, I'll try to get to him by the weekend. But she said, no, he's in pretty bad shape. He hasn't been really messed with for over, I think, 3 years, she said. I was like, all right, bring him on in. And I look at Chris, I'm like, honey, I love you.
Okay, I'm going to interject. It was on a Monday, so when you guys get this, you're going to get this on May 4th. It was 2 weeks prior. Monday after work, Sarah's like, oh, we're going to have an extra dog coming in. I'm like, what do you mean an extra dog? Oh, we have a dog that we're going to be doing for PCAL. And I looked at her with a very bewildered look and said, you do understand that we literally are overbooked.
Yeah, we were overbooked as it was. I already had an extra dog in the morning and an extra dog in the afternoon. So we had a total of like 9 dogs that day, and one being CoCo. And we, of course, we did not charge PCAL for it. It's just something we want to do to help them. CoCo came to us, and he was horrible shape. He wasn't the worst shape I've ever seen a dog in, but it was pretty bad. You can tell he had a couple years of hair growth that wasn't messed with. And someone tried to trim his back hair at some point and didn't get too far. But back end was horrible. The hair was knotted into his ears. His ear hair came out of his ear canal a good 4.5 inches, 5 inches. And that's pretty rare for that to happen. He was just a mess. A matted, nasty mess. And at first, Rhoda thought someone said something about how he was a senior dog, and I took a look at him. I was like, no, he can't be any more than 7 years old. Kind of find out that's about his age, is about 7. You could tell by lifting up their teeth, they're looking at their teeth, and how yellow or stained they are. So we got him groomed up. It took a good hour for the prep shave. And then the wash and dry doesn't take very long. And then it took another good hour for the finishing touches to make him look decent. I was able to save a little bit of hair on top of his head and a little bit on his face, so he has some kind of personality. We went and you and I bought him a collar since his collar was so gross and nasty. I'm not going to put a nasty collar back on the dog that is clean and ready to go. So we gave him a really cool blue and polka dotted collar for him, and he looks spiffy leaving. He's going to need a tidy here coming up in the next couple weeks, so whoever adopted him has a tidy coming to him, at a very discounted rate. But oh my gosh, he was such a sweetheart, such a good boy. I mean, for not being groomed for several years, he was so good. He didn't quite care for his feet messed with. But boy, the amount of work and how long it took, and he sat for it, and he was a trooper. And to come find out that he did get adopted. And
well, we'll talk about that in a second. Go on. Keep going.
Well, there's nothing else to tell. Just that he was a good boy, and unfortunately, we had to keep him at the salon for a long time because we had such a huge day.
True.
But Rhoda didn't care, and he didn't care. He liked hanging out with us.
So I'm gonna tell everybody kind of a statement from the actual shelter. The shelter gave me a statement about CoCo, and I thought I would actually read that to him. All right, so this comes from John Redshaw at the Raw Animal Shelter. He said, CoCo's previous owner had moved away. A family member was taking care of CoCo, but had left him in a home that was pretty much vacated. CoCo did not have an opportunity to interact with other animals except for a cat that was also in the home. The caretaker did feed CoCo each and every day, so he was not malnourished. However, the environment in which CoCo was being housed was inadequate. The caretaker voluntarily surrendered CoCo in order to find him a better environment in which to live and a family to love him and care for him. Due to the circumstances involved, the caretaker was not able to properly care for him the way that he should have been cared for. This is why we were contacted and asked to take possession of CoCo. The caretaker did his best that he could, and we commend him for doing the right thing by surrendering CoCo and allowing him to the opportunity to live the life he deserves. As for the bathroom issue, because, side note, we were told that CoCo was only being able to go to the bathroom inside the house, so I had asked about it. Regarding the bathroom issue, yes, CoCo did not have many opportunities to go outside, so he had to improvise and go potty inside the home. Again, we commend the caretaker for doing the right thing. Now CoCo will have the opportunity to live life to its fullest. I might add that because of Pikal, CoCo was examined and found to be in very good health with no major issues. His disposition is outstanding and he is a very happy little boy. We also found out that CoCo is going to actually be fixed. He's going to be neutered May, what was it? Was it this week? May 7th, I think?
I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, sometime this week. And that will be at the cost of Pikal. They will actually provide that to whoever adopts him. I was also contacted last week by somebody from Pikal, not Pikal, somebody from the animal shelter saying thank you to Sarah for everything that she's done. She said every time that a dog actually comes to see her, and I'm actually paraphrasing what was said, every time that a dog comes to see her to get groomed or spruced up, they're adopted immediately, which I was told the dog was actually adopted last week. Now to kind of put it all together, we just ran into somebody from Pikal. She came to us today and said that the president of Pikal, Glenda, wanted to let us know that CoCo had been adopted for sure. So we've actually verified it.
We have confirmation.
We have
which
confirmation.
Is nice. I
Yep.
mean, it's always best to make sure you get your sources from a couple different places. So it's nice. He's got a new home.
Yep.
It's hard to see the beauty in a dog when they're in that rough a shape. But no matter what, he was still an awesome dog underneath all that hair.
Right.
Sometimes it takes one quick groom to change that whole dynamic of how this dog's gonna get adopted. And folks, what you could do, if you see a dog at the pound or the shelter or a nonprofit, wherever, and he's in really rough shape and you want to help that dog out, sponsor the groom.
Yep.
Find a groomer that will do it and ask the shelter or the pound or somebody to take that dog to that groomer, get him groomed up, pay for the groom yourself, and you can give that dog a new lease on life. Yep.
That is a good point. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to actually say about CoCo. Oh, I remember what it was. I had to actually thank everybody who actually was reached on the story of CoCo. Like we had mentioned in the open, we had posted this on our Facebook page, the Groomer Next Door podcast on Facebook. What it was is it was just a side story that I had posted. Sarah had made a thing for that day of CoCo, which I actually have that picture ready to go this Wednesday. It will go up as well. Just to kind of, it'll go up this Wednesday on our show page. And each day there's going to be a little bit of fun facts about pets that are going to be on there as well. So if you actually have liked our page, you'll see them come up each day this week. There'll be something new every day. But it was weird how just that it was a simple picture that I had taken, nothing on fanciness like you did. You made a really cool picture of CoCo, the before, the middle, the after. You did such a wonderful job at it. And I just did something really small. So the story was really simple that I put together on our show page, and that was, this dog made it to our wall of fame because the transformation of that dog was just astronomical. And I was so proud of what you did with that dog. So it was something simple. It had been shared a few times. Peacock shared it. Raw Animal Shelter shared it. And then on top of that, on our page alone, we almost reached 1,100 people on our page. Shadowwood reached about 300 people, if not more.
It was like 4 or 5.
It was
I think.
okay. Went up
around there.
So I mean, a lot of people were reached by this, and it was just an amazing, snowball effect. I wasn't expecting so much, especially a story that wasn't really going to be a story. It was just a cute little message. So I was really, really quite taken back by it. Our Facebook page has reached 1,000 people, 1,000 likes. So we really appreciate that, and we're still growing, of course. We'd like to interact with all of you who listen to the show. We want to actually be able to, share cool little stories with you that, probably won't make it into the podcast because they're not really, major stories that we want to actually spend a lot of time discussing. CoCo was just one of those rare kind of situations. So for that, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and thank you to Rhoda for bringing them in to me so I can get to them. If we had to pick them up, we wouldn't be able to do that because we're so busy. So thank you, Rhoda, for all the stuff you do for both nonprofits. It's an amazing commitment you've given to them.
Yes, it is really an honor to actually have people like that around and to know them. Well, I think that's pretty much going to end it for us today. Going to kind of make it a little bit lighter. I'm pretty sure we're pretty higher up on the minutes than I think we are, but I'm kind of worried that you're going to lose your voice again.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of...
I can tell.
My energy is lowering right now.
All right, everybody. Well, we will be back next week. I do apologize. We have not put a video podcast up online. It's just been hard to actually nail down some time to actually record it. You might actually get one this week, but not with any kind of sound. I haven't decided what I'm going to do on Sydney. So, we'll see what I do. I might put something together this week. You might actually get your very first video podcast of the week in a few weeks. So anyways, I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm a sick Sarah saying life is short. Play with your pet.
Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.
Was without doubt the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.